Here we go. And start us off with a prayer. All right, so I'm placing my hands on my heart, taking that deep breath of love and gratitude. So grateful for this opportunity to come together to be the two or more who are gathered in the name and the nature of love. Grateful for our willingness to have open hearts and open minds. Grateful for our willingness and desire to shine away any and all blocks to love from all dimensions of time and space. We're allowing them to dissolve and resolve back to the nothingness from which they came. We're grateful for A Course in Miracles and for this community and the love and support that we get to send and receive to one another. We're especially blessing our dear friend Deborah as she is recovering from having broken her hip, fractured her hip. So yeah, going from being on a walker to a wheelchair, she's having a little struggle with that. So we're just surrounding her and loving her with all our hearts and all our prayers. And we're grateful for all of our earthly and heavenly helpers that are surrounding and supporting us now during this call, supporting the technology that we get to use to come together, and blessing each and every one of us here and all those who may listen later. And we're grateful that we get to share the benefits of this prayer and the blessings we receive and our very lives of love with everyone because we're one with them. In grace and gratitude, we let it be, and so it is. Amen. Amen. All right, so we're just doing the excuse me, the introduction for chapter 23, the war against yourself. And isn't that funny that we do that? But I only wanted to cover the introduction because the first section is rather long and we have very deep conversation, so we'll take it in little chunks. But I'm going to start us off with it's actually the last sentence in paragraph 3 and into paragraph 4, where he says, "Who looks for glory finds it where it is. Where could it be but in the innocent? Let not the little interferers pull you to littleness. There can be no attraction of guilt and innocence. Think what a happy world you would walk with truth beside you. Do not give up this world of freedom for a little sigh of seeming sin, nor for a tiny stirring of guilt's attraction." And I have to admit that I got stirred by the guilt's attraction this week. But I was able to see it and do some work around it with the help of some prayer partners, including Penelope here, and turn it around. And the meaning that I had made of it, that it was going to create some challenges or possible blocks to my desire to take some time off the first couple of weeks of June, were completely unfounded. You know, I asked and it was like, yeah, I've been waiting for you to ask for that. So, yeah, so it's really interesting that that this time I was able to see the trigger being pushed and the guilt little tornadoes swirling around in my head, making up all these stories about what was going to happen now, and then look for the glory and find my innocence and get to the peace of God. And, you know, just one miracle after another, man. Is all I can say. Yeah, it's great. Thank you. Carla, go ahead.
Last night I got this, what appears like a cult, but I really know the truth, that it's something coming up for healing. That's all I'm interested in focusing on. So that very line was I had talked about innocence. What is innocence? I think innocence is that we embarked on this experience of form, and then we forgot that we are the formless, we're not the form. And that's what it's talking about, we're not the body. So, and it's like the war against yourself is, what is that? It's the ego or the false self or the body or whatever, versus the true self, spirit, love, right? The war against yourself. So we've forgotten who we are. We've listened to the ego mind or whatever. And I've been putting stuff together from this course and from different things I read, and I see the truth. Yeah, I still can't fully, but is that, and I think I've shared this before. It's like in paragraph 5 in the Violet Flame book. The original intent of our embodiment in the schoolroom of earth was for us to use to learn our thoughts and feelings to co-create patterns of perfection from the cosmic body of God. It's a long line, but it's to love. We came here to love. So what I get from, oftentimes when I hear people interpreting this course, they go, oh, we chose wrongly. No, we came here, our intent was good, was fine. We're supported by God, but we forgot who we are. We start believing that voice. And so I'm going away from this course, but this is from the Violet Flame book, and I wasn't going to read this, but shown to me right before. And when you talked about innocence, I knew I had to speak of it, because that is our innocence. Is we believe we are the thoughts and the feelings. We are not. We are that through which it's passing through. So this is when humanity fell into the quagmire of our own miscreations, we lost the ability to hear the inner voice of our God selves. Without that divine guidance, we observed the painful things occurring in the world and came to the erroneous conclusion that we're all just victims of circumstance. Actually, nothing could be further from the truth. We are the creators of circumstance, not the victims of circumstance. And that is the innocence. That is innocence. We innocently go lost in our form experience and start believing that the voice in our head, instead of having connection with our true self, inner wisdom. That is the innocence. In the second line, it says, innocence is strength. Nothing else is strong. The sinless cannot fear, for sin is only a sign of weakness. But so that's the key. And I feel I've been neglecting to say that. I've been really listening to the ego voice and saying, oh, you're not hurt. See, they can't get it. Oh, see, what you say is they don't understand it yet. It's too big a leap for them or whatever. That is not true. I know who you are. I know who I am. We're not the body. We're not we're not the experiences. We're the one through which the experiences are passing. And that is the flow of life. Experiences come and experiences go. Love is the only thing that's real. We are the only thing that's real. In those experiences, we give them the sense of reality by believing they're true. So, so we are all instantly, I don't know, innocent. We're all innocent. So there. That's my cold rec room.
Thank you, Carla. Knowing your wholeness. Yeah. Who else would like to share what they got from our reading this week or an experience this week? Go ahead, Kathy. No, can't unmute. Let me see.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I'm trying to do this on a toy, on a little tablet, and I can't get the gallery view, whatever. But yeah, I'm just on fire for this. It's just amazing to me. The whole thing that's getting me is this eyes of innocence, how it changes our life, and and it's nailing me because all the time I'm going, well, that isn't eyes of innocence, It's like, I mean, your world is what you see, and it's talking about that the attraction of guilt, and I looked that up, and it talks about how we're a conduit of God's will if we're seeing love. You see, if we have the eyes of innocence, but you see, what's the attraction of guilt is fear, and it's what we believe. So if I believe in fear, then that a little, it talks about littleness here somewhere. Don't be snagged by your desire for littleness, and it came up to me. This is kind of I, I do a lot of Netflix and movie, not Netflix, but the Prime movies. I do well anyway. I'm getting a little bit away from it, but the point is, all of it is full of attraction of guilt and fear. You can't build a movie if you don't build fear. And the receiver has to feel the fear, or it's just not engaging because it's what we've developed. You know what I'm saying? If you're showing a loving, slow, blissful, happy, innocent expression, it's just so I realized by seeking out entertainment that glorifies fear, it's one of my ways of seeking littleness. I don't know whether God will, the Holy Spirit could maybe guide me away from that. I'm hoping so. And the other last little thing I'll share is I've been having this desire to say what's in front of me. What is this moment? And I've been believing that there's a God, the Holy Spirit influence, that is right there all the time. And the one thing I know about it is it's not exactly Kathy. I mean, my personality and all my little whims and ways is not the same. It's not like it outlaws me. It's not like I'm not a participant, but I'm not, well, let's just say I can get in the way. So a lot of it is stepping back, and I'm developing a perception by doing that. And that's the point about the eyes of innocence. Now the way it's nailing me is every day I have this eyes of innocence idea, and I think, oh well, I just thought that about this person, and I thought that about this person, it's just stupid stuff. I mean, it doesn't even amount to anything. If complete strangers. Oh, what about her? What about him? And it's definitely not eyes of innocence. I'm seeing, well, they could do that different, or they could do this different. So of course, in the course, it tells me, and I don't quite understand this, but that I'm going to be relieved by seeing that somebody else has a little twist in them. They have the little thing that needs tweaking. And oh, maybe I don't have that. Who knows what irrational thing, but somehow that I believe in the fear and the guilt, and I think putting it on somebody else is a relief. So the other thing it talks about, we would actually see love, and then it brings in the word gentleness. If we were seeing love, we would be gentle. And I like that word. It kind of gave it more meaning. Like, what do they mean? I'd be seeing with love everywhere. Well, it just means I wouldn't be out there trying to organize the troops. Did you do what Kathy thought? I mean, were you marching to my drummer? You know, that's not gentle, you see. Or how you march is your business, and what you think is your business. And it's good business. It's not even bad business. I mean, unless I want to pretend and get myself mixed up, you know. That's it. Thanks for letting me share.
Yeah, thank you, Kathy. Thank you so much. Love that. Tammy.
Hi.
Hi.
My camera is not working today. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Oh my goodness. So I just, what an experience it is for me to just live the life, right? Walk the walk, as Jennifer always say. And that have been my main focus now. It's what I try to do, and it's what I've been doing. I've just, yeah. And this week, what I experienced was just so amazing. But I was having, same sort of confusion and chaos in your mind, just as you, Linda. And I think my spouse did something ridiculous, and I was getting there with so much anger and so much bitterness and so much things that I didn't want, so much of things that I had already just lay on the altar, was trying to find its way back. And I just sat with the Holy Spirit and just say, that is not me. That is not who I am. This is, and just help me find my way back to my loving self, find my way back to being gentle, find my way back to having tolerance, and just feeling it move from my heart, move from my spirit, was just so overwhelmed. And recognizing that when I am in that state of bitterness and false identity, the things that it keeps me from doing, because when I'm there, I don't get to enjoy my children. I don't get to go play with my son. And recognizing that was just so powerful for me, that you can actually just call upon the Holy Spirit to help you choose again and to get you back in the right state of mind. That was just so powerful for me, and I wanted to share because, I mean, maybe it have happened before, but this was the first time like I felt it, and it was just not there. Like nothing was there. Then just wanted to love and forgive myself and apologize for thinking these unloving thoughts of my spouse. And I was able to get up and get dressed and take my son to the park. And I didn't even have to worry about it coming back. Like it just wasn't there in my mind anymore. Yeah, I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, thank you, Tammy. I know it's so moving when we get to see the truth and feel it, like physically feel it. Yeah.
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 Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. Who else would like to share? Go ahead.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I didn't read this line, but it's in the 6th paragraph. And it goes along with what I shared. Nothing around you is but a part of you. Look on it lovingly and see the light of heaven in it. And it's, this is not part of this, but I play this ad game. I think I've shared how it's helped me. And that I met someone from Bulgaria, and she shared this with me. Unconditional love is always around us. We just need to open to it and feel it. Someone from Bulgaria. You met her. She's just a player that we've connected to on the app game. And I mean, I don't know if I ever meet her, but unconditional love is always around us. We just need to open ourselves to feel it. That is us as innocent. We've forgotten. We started believing that we are the thoughts and the choices. No, they're just part of our path of growth, our path that we've chosen to learn from. Unconditional love is always around us. I was amazed when she said that to me. She sent this. I was like, I know I connected for a reason. I have no idea what that is fully yet, but I needed to hear that. So that's all. So it's nothing around us as part of us. Look on it with the love that we are, and we'll see the light of heaven, and we'll see the innocence. Okay, thanks.
Yep. Thank you, Carla. Yeah. We are in unconditional love, so that makes sense. Leslie and then Robin. And then I think I saw another hand, but out of the corner of my eye. We'll come back to that.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay? I'm outside today, so the air conditioner might turn back on, but I tried my Bluetooth and it's not working, so I'll just do my best. I'll start with a couple of fun things. One is just a fun experience of abundance, and that is that I got a raise out of the blue, so that was a lot of fun. And another is my mom and I used to not own, but it was a Shackley business. We sold these vitamins. For years, we have not done that. And she's like, I keep getting this thing. Just something came to her that she needed to close the account. So she goes and closes the account, and the teller says, oh, okay, you have it's $18.40. My mom's like, $18.40. And she's like, no, $1,800.40. So my half was $920. Totally out of the blue, unexpected, no idea was coming. Thank you, God. And it's funny because I've been thinking so much about abundance because of all the perennial plants that I see. And it's like just a marigold. If you just pop the dead head off of it, then you have like probably 100 seeds from it. It's just, and then I have the spider plant that had all these babies, and it's just, I've just been like, oh my God, there's nothing to need. It's awesome. I've just been in this flow of abundance. It's been great. And then yesterday, I went to the pharmacy to pick up a prescription, and it said that the drive-through was closed. And I was just like, okay, I guess I'll go in. Wasn't disappointed, just totally in the moment. So I went in, and they said it would be about 10 minutes. And I just questioned the girl. I said, oh, really? My husband called it in. They said it'd be ready. And she's like, ma'am, I have 400 orders here. one of the full-time people left. It's just me and the pharmacy. We're doing the best we can. Nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to work. And it's going to be, I'm like, oh my gosh, no problem. It's no problem, So I just sat there and waited. It was probably only 5 minutes. And then she called my name and I went up there and I just said to her that, again, I was so sorry that she was having such a tough day. And she's like, you have no idea. I mean, I don't think she went pee that day. I mean, she was just totally, I could just see the overwhelm, and I just sent her love and light. And the miracle of that story was, from A to Z, I didn't lose my peace about any of it. And before, I would have been like, oh, I just worked 9 hours. I don't want to get out of the car and have to go in and wear my stupid mask, which I'm sick of. And now I have, I just didn't go there. It was just like, okay, I'm going to go in the store. It wasn't available. Okay, I guess I'll wait. I don't have my phone. Okay, I guess I'll wait in silence. It was all just fine. Then this morning I got a call. I'm going to try not to cry, but my mom just, I really wish this wasn't on YouTube, because I always worry that somebody's going to listen, but I just want you guys to all pray for him. My nephew is an alcoholic, and he had this baby with his wife, Samantha, and Grayson's going to be 2 on July 15th. And the one rule in their house was, she said that if he ever gets drunk when he's watching that baby, she's gone. And that happened yesterday. And my mom is just so heartbroken. I mean, when we both know that we're totally futurizing, because we don't know anything. They could be back together by now, but she just watches her great grandson every Wednesday. And I guess my question for the group is, I just don't know it's like, I don't want to bury the pain. I don't want to eat myself through it. I don't want to distract myself. I mean, I am at work, but it's like, what do you do with it? I mean, I just feel like there's nothing to do with pain. And how do you process it so it doesn't get stuck inside? I mean, I don't want to never see Grayson again. And my sister, it's her grandson, And I mean, I'm not even really angry. I mean, I'm just sad. And yet I know that this is Luke's path. This is Sam's path. I don't need to know the how or the why. I just need to have faith and trust. And I have that, and I can hold the high watch. But why does it hurt so much?
Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Just allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, and know that none of it is wrong. If anger arises, that's perfectly normal. The sadness is perfectly normal. Whatever arises is perfectly normal, and allow yourself to express it in whatever way feels safe and healthy for you. Having a good cry. One of the things that I used to do is I would go out into my car and I'd go for a drive and I'd turn the music on really loud and I'd scream. That was helpful. Just, movement, dance, walking, running, laying on the
I just feel
ground
so
and showing.
helpless. I just feel so helpless. It's really none of my business. I'm the aunt and the great aunt, and my sister is heartbroken. My mom is heartbroken. This has happened before they had a baby. She would leave, they'd get back together. She'd leave, they get back together. Then they got married, and they've been trying to have another baby. I mean, it feels like a complete mess, a train wreck, just sucks. And it's like, I've had this the weekend, it was so beautiful. And I've never planted all my plants this early. And I've just been in nature all day, and I'm feeling one with God. And this is life. And I'm willing to let life unfold. And it's like, I don't want to keep track, like good day, great day, horrible day, good day. But it's like the good days feel so good, and the bad days feel so terrible.
Yeah.
And I'm really, peace is always my thing. And I don't know if I can say I've totally lost my peace, because I truly believe everything. We're watching a movie, and this is Luke's movie right now, and
Yeah.
maybe this will be the catalyst to get him to stop drinking finally. I don't know, and I mean, he hates his job, and I mean, it just sucks. Just
Yeah.
sucks. So I appreciate all your prayers and all your support, and thank you for your tips of, because I know it's not good to bury pain, and yet it's just, we don't want to feel it,
Yeah. Yeah. Because it hurts.
It does. And you feel, like I said, I just feel so helpless. I just feel like there's nothing I can do, except I have been praying, and I know that's probably the best thing I can be.
Absolutely. Yep.
And now you guys will all be too. So thank you.
Absolutely. And we're all holding that high watch for you and for your whole family. Absolutely.
Thank you all very
Yeah.
much.
You're welcome, Leslie.
Love you guys.
Love you too.
I knew I needed to be on this call today.
Yeah. I'm so glad you're here and that we can be here to support you. Yeah. You're welcome. Robin. And then I thought there was somebody else that had their hand raised. Go ahead, Robin.
Oh, Leslie, my heart goes out to you. And I know that you know anything that I share with you, you already know it. One share would be, to go to that quiet place and rest in God or spirit. The other is seeing your nephew in his wholeness. Don't even look at just hold him and see him in his wholeness and his complete well-being, and the whole family. Isn't it interesting that we keep having these things, and they seem so unhappy, but they are a part of our healing and helping us to move forward. you know um, I love you so much, and I will be holding you in love and light, and your family.
Thank you, Robin. I love you so much too. And I was going to reach out to you in prayer on text, and I'm like, well, I'm going to send it to the whole group. So,
Yeah,
but I know you know about Luke and Grayson and everything. So thank you. And just real quick, I just want to thank Kathy for mentioning about, I can't remember how exactly she said it, but laying on the altar. I've not done that yet. So thank you for that reminder, Kathy. I will definitely lay it on the altar. And sorry, Robin, I know you're still sharing.
Well, I did want to share something. It kind of goes right along with where we're at. And that was me coming online feeling my strongest, one of my core beliefs is that I don't belong. And I just could feel I was just being drained of any sort of love while being here in the presence of my beloveds. And Carla I can't phrase it. I cannot phrase it correctly, but when Carla, and I was kind of like, come back, Robin, come back. And Carla, when you shared something about coming towards a loving and heavenly space, you used the words loving and heavenly. And that's where I could pause and kind of get a bigger, a truer feeling of who I really am. And then I appreciated Tammy sharing from her heart, just that she opened up. And I'm having this moment of, feeling sorry for myself or whatever this personality is doing right now. But I do want you all to know I had the most amazing stuff going on. And I just feel like I get Spirit is always there, just making things happen that I just go, oh my God, this is just so beautiful and so compelling me to stay as best as I can, meeting myself and accepting where I am and show up as best I can and let the rest go. So anyway, that's my little sad story, and I'm so glad to be here and that I can share it with you all. Thank you.
Oh, Robin, thank you so much for showing up, even though you were feeling that way, because we love and adore you so much. And God, girl, you belong here. You so belong here.
You so do.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, Robin. I love you.
Thank you. And Grace and then Carla. Grace had her hand raised earlier. I knew there was somebody else that had their hand raised and I couldn't.
And then I listened to Leslie and I was like, oh, completely forgot what I wanted to talk about. So Leslie, love to you, and I'm going to hold you guys all in my prayers. So sometimes I'm really humbled by this group because you guys are you're so your love, your compassion, your beauty, your grace, you're smart, you're funny, you're everything. And I'm so glad that I can even just sit in and listen with you guys. It's so uplifting for me, so uplifting of all the groups that I do. There's one other group that's like this too, and I'm so appreciative because I don't get this anywhere else. Where else would I find this beauty? And so I just wanted to say to Tammy, that was amazing, your sharing. And I sometimes walk around saying, I am Christ, pure and innocent, all is forgiven and released, because I heard it somewhere, I think Gary Reynard. But I never really thought about innocence before. And when you were talking about it, I suddenly felt this huge energy shift inside. And I suddenly felt my own innocence. And I think that's the first time I've ever felt it, because all my life I've been guilty of doing things badly and wrong. I don't believe it now, but all my life I was like the black sheep of the family, and I did everything wrong, and you know the old stuff. And I suddenly just saw myself through Tammy's eyes, and it was amazing. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Grace.
Yeah, thank you so much, Grace. So beautiful. Yep. And this God's gift to the world, this group. Absolutely. Absolutely. Go ahead, Carla.
I didn't even unmute myself. I just did. So I'm not interested in being unkind, but I'd like to remind you of the divine alarm clock. When you feel anything other than peace and joy and acceptance and love, then there's something your body is telling you that you're believing a thought that is not true. We don't know what anything is for somehow. So, and I'm going to read, I think I may have shared this before, but I'm going to share it again from the Course of Love. Realize that your desire for your life, or the life that you're experiencing to be different, that your desire for your unhappiness to be gone is very unlikely in truth to stem from the details of the story. Even so, you're not called to accept what you do not like, but to accept that you don't like whatever it is you don't like. Then and only then, when you've accepted how you feel, can you respond truly. Only then, when you've accepted how you feel, can you quit labeling good or bad. And only then can you deal with anything from a place of peace. I think I shared this last week. You may have been thinking, again, at least subconsciously, that your real self has no feelings of dislike. And in this confusion have been trying and even struggling to accept what you do not like in order to be more true to an ideal self. Yet this ideal self is not the self you are right now. You cannot accept only an ideal self. This is nonsense. Can you not see this? All power to effect change comes from acceptance. Not acceptance of the way things are, but acceptance of who you are in the present. Not the acceptance of the way you want to be, but acceptance of the way you are now, what you're feeling. And I'm really grateful for you to bring it to the light, because the healing has already started. So it's through this radical acceptance of self, it's realizing that that's when you realize you are the love. That's all you are. And that's what's coming up that you want for this loving situation. You love your nephew, you love the child, and you love. That's it. Focus on the love, not the story, because we don't know what anything is for. Maybe you're right. You said it. Maybe he will. Maybe this will be the thing that shocks him to get him to stop drinking. They've got back together. Maybe sometimes something needs to happen to really get us to shift. I used to complain about this ex-girlfriend for like a year. I used to go to this woman, Barbara Stevens, and she said, maybe I can't help you, Carla. I love you, but maybe you need someone. No, that shocked me. What? Oh, man, I'm losing my support. I shifted in that moment. Now, your nephew has the power of choice can never be taken away from you. He can choose. Love him. Love even this situation, not the story behind it, not the upset, but the healing that's there. That is the truth. That is the love. When we open to the love that is all around us, we open to the healing, because love is the healer. Love. However it unfolds, just love. And love yourself. That's the radical acceptance. Whatever you're feeling, you are that through which this is passing. It's coming up for healing, whatever it is. And you and your nephew, you're focused on this situation with your nephew. He's helping you heal. Thank him. Love him. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. I appreciate everything you said. Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful, Carla. Thank you for the reminder to thank him. Yep. Penelope and then Melita.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, my heart goes out, Leslie, to you, and Robin, to you as well. Yeah, I'm so sorry that you're going through this, and I know from what I was sharing last week, then the shifts can come very quickly. And I remember Carla reading that little passage out last week, and I remember that bit about the details. And, you know, I can see how sometimes, and yes, you know, I absolutely recognize that the quicker that we can let go of the emotions and allow them to move through us, the quicker we get the insights. It's allowing those emotions to come through. And sometimes, yeah, we just have to be in that pain for however long it takes. And I certainly know that it helped me last week after sharing. And then I just allowed myself, and I just was kind to myself for the rest of, for the evening. And the insights began to come in the early hours. And it was in the early hours when those insights came, and eventually I got up at 5 and I began the forgiveness work. And so it was a super shift again, and a recognition of some past stuff that I had got and totally unaware that it was running in the background. I just did not put the connection. So the details, like, you know, Carl has just said, it's never about the details, but those details, actually, I can be grateful for, because it was those details that made me, that brought me to that level of awareness. And it's part of a huge healing that I'm still like a work in progress. And it was connected to my sister and the times when she was screaming and shouting at me that I was selfish and I was this and I was that. And realizing that I felt in those moments last week, I felt selfish because I was asking for how I'd like something to be. And I also felt I was being an inconvenience. And those things are part of Robin, of the unworthiness for me and feeling like I don't belong or I'm not good enough. Or so I can look back now and I'm so grateful that I went through it, and I'm able to also stand back and do the practical things to take care of those two situations, one of which resolved so quickly. It was actually quite phenomenal how it came about. And so yeah, and it's just, and it's so, I'm so grateful because when I hear people talk and I hear their pain and their struggle, and I'm so grateful because it reminds me to be gentle, and I am really learning to be gentle. And it's in those moments of gentleness that then I can allow those emotions, feel them, move beyond them, and get the insights. And I'm just trusting that the more that I'm able to recognize that and do the work and work through it like that, then I won't need to go through even the time frame that I went through last week. It'll be in an instant. I'll recognize the healing opportunities. And there's two things that I find really helpful to say to myself: this too shall pass. And show me the perfection in this. Show me the perfection. And I was saying to myself, the other thing I was saying to myself last week was, all is well, all is well. No matter how shitty I felt, I just kept saying, all is well. So yeah, and yeah, I love this word innocence, because it just for me it's truth. It's pure truth. So thank you, everyone. And yeah, I'm going to hold Robin and Leslie in my prayers, and Leslie, your family as well. So yeah, this too shall pass. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Penelope. Love you.
And I thank you too, Penelope. I thank all of you. And it's like I to share like that is really unpleasant. It's a part of the pain. And I'm just so grateful. Thank you all so much.
Yeah, thank you, all three of you, for your honesty and your courage. Thank you. Melita.
Yeah, thank you everyone for sharing. I really appreciate it. And you'll all be in my prayers. this is going to sound kind of funny, Robin. I know I don't know you very well, but all morning I was thinking, oh, I hope Robin's on this call this morning. So there you are. And the other thing I was thinking was, I've been thinking a lot about guilt, and handing the guilt over and relating guilt to different illnesses and things, and just things that come up, going, oh, I must feel guilty, handing it over. So it's my first time reading the Course in Miracles, and this group is like a little bit ahead, like 2 chapters ahead of me, but in a sense, I was like, this was just perfect, because I felt like I'm, understanding the guilt, and I'm understanding what that means and what that does. But then to connect to the innocence that I am, innocence, like, this just feels like the next level of love. So I just think it's beautiful. And I'm looking forward to this week of walking in innocence for myself and for everyone. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Melita. I love that, walking in innocence this week. Yep. So beautiful. Anybody else like to share something that is coming up from listening to others share, or from what you read, or just something that's been happening in your world? Go ahead, Leslie.
Just real quick, I just want to say that I already feel so much better. I think it's when I'm trying not to cry and I'm trying to hold all that pain in. I mean, there does need to be some kind of release. And it's just been nice. I'm so grateful for this group too, to have such support and know that there's no judgment, and everything everybody says is so helpful. And thank you so much, Penelope, for those 3 affirmations. I've heard of all 3 of them, but it's just, you just forget, so thank you. Yes, I think my afternoon is going to be much better than my morning has been.
Wonderful. Holly, and then Robin.
Can you hear me? I just want to say I love how this group is so loving and sharing. I know I don't usually say very much. I always feel like, oh, I'll wait until everybody else has said something, and then if there's time, I'll allow myself to, yeah. And I know, yeah. Okay. Anyway, I just send you guys love and peace, because I know how important peace is. Some of you know I've been through a lot, and the peace is just, I've robbed of it, but I'm recognizing more and more how I'm the one stepping out of it through seeming situations that are happening. Anyway, that's my lesson. But I just want to say that when I was reading this in paragraph 2, these words just jumped off the page. Sentence 5, he walks in peace, who travels sinlessly along the way love shows him. For love walks with him there, protecting him from fear, and he will see only the sins who cannot attack. And I just was blown away. I used to be, years ago, a born-again Christian. So when we would talk about passages in the Bible, and we would say, oh, I felt such a quickening when I was reading it. And I really couldn't find another way of saying that same thing. Like when I read that, I felt such a quickening. And again, it's, the reminder of the peace. For me, in my thinking, learning, I should say, you can't have anything else if you don't have peace. How can you have joy and happiness without peace? Anyway, and I'll just put this out here. For me, what Spirit helps me with when I get out of my peace, and he says this to me so often and so lovingly, he'll say to me, Holly, don't make it real. It's not real. You're watching a movie of something. And for me, that's what helps me really deal with very, very difficult things. Is when I step back and go, okay, wait. I am really at home in God. And I'm just watching this. Amen. Thank you so much. And I love you all.
Oh, thank you, Holly. It's so good to hear from you, my friend. Yeah. Sending you lots of love. And thank you for that reminder too, that this is a movie. Yep. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God, right? Nothing real can be threatened. Yeah. Oh, Robin, you had your hand raised too. One last share and then we'll close out.
Well, just quickly, Holly, I have just lovingly held you in the background for as long as you've been joining us. And I think it was last week, maybe it was earlier, but just very recently you moved up closer and I just felt this joy. And then today you added your voice. And so I'm just welcoming you and thanking you, and that you have been in my heart in this process, in your process, and in our process. So it's so sweet to see you up close. And I just wanted to appreciate Tammy and Leslie and Homara and anyone who breaks down and cries. I hold back and I feel that I've been holding back. And this group is one of the groups that are just really, well, all the groups, well, not all of the groups, but this is, I'm going to be showing up, to this group, and I show up to most of them, but there's a part of me that wants to be more open. And so I may allow myself to cry more when I come. I don't know that I will always be able to share, but there is a feeling of embarrassment and shame too. And yet when I see others do it, I don't feel that or think that at all. I'm just like uplifted and inspired. But for myself, it's like, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. So today has been like a little crack that's opened, and it's because of everyone and the way you share and give of yourselves. And it's a deep desire of my heart to be able to do that as well, and know that it is for my healing and for everyone's healing, and that I don't have to feel embarrassed or ashamed. So thank you.
Thank you, Robin. It's such a brave thing we do when we can be honest and authentic about how we're feeling for real. So we're at time. So next week we will be in section 1 of chapter 23, which is the irreconcilable beliefs. And we're going to, Nancy Gale, can it be really quick? Because I have another person I have to get to at 1:15.
Yes, I just wanted to say, add my, what you said, Robin, about seeing Holly, and this, I've been exactly same thing. Watching you, seeing you in the background, Holly, and you're coming closer and closer. So thank you for saying, Robin, you voiced what I have been feeling all along for Holly. Thank you.
Yeah, me too. Me too, Nancy Gale. Thank you for adding that. All right, so I'm going to read quickly from Pathways of Light insights for lesson number 138, which is heaven is the decision I must make. That's what we're doing here, man. All right. Choosing heaven means letting the truth return to my awareness. It means letting our eternal oneness in God come back to my awareness. If I am focusing on separation, on differences, on bodies, I am choosing to focus on hell. I am choosing to focus on nothing. I am not choosing heaven. If I want to be happy, heaven is the decision I must make. At first, it takes determined effort because my habit has been to make separation real. But as I continue to let my awareness of heaven, of our oneness in God come in more and more, that old habit of focusing on separation falls away more and more. It is really up to me how fast I return my awareness to the truth. At any moment, I am either choosing heaven or hell. There is no in between. Remembering hourly that heaven is a decision I must make jars my mind loose from that old habit of making separation real. Behind every body, behind every personality is the light of God. In every situation, I am either focusing on the light of God in the person or on perceiving that person is separate from me. Today's lesson helps me make the choice for happiness, the choice for heaven. At this stage, it takes consistent, repeated practice. It takes bringing my mind around again and again and again to the truth. It's just like playing the piano. It starts with practicing the scales and gradually leads towards effortlessly musical expression. Today, I choose to practice opening to the music of heaven's oneness, heaven's love, heaven's peace. Heaven is really all I want. Remembering our one true identity is all I really want. Reflecting heaven here is all I want. This treasure, my true inheritance, is received as I am willing to practice hour by hour, day by day, opening to the truth of heaven. Heaven is really the only choice there is to make. Today, I practice choosing heaven. The only reason I must choose heaven now is because I have chosen against heaven. The body and the world I see through the body's eyes were made to make it appear that the choice against heaven had real effect and that there really is something other than heaven. The ego could be described as the choice to deny heaven. Because the ego's existence depends on the perception of a real alternative to heaven, the ego has developed many defenses and mechanisms to help make hell, this world, maintain its semblance of reality. One of its most effective mechanisms is the unconscious mind. By keeping decisions unconscious, we hide from ourselves the fact that our whole world experience, everything we see and feel, is by our own choice. No one in their right mind consciously chooses pain, isolation, fear, and guilt. By making those decisions unconscious, the world of separation is held in place and seems to be entirely out of our control. We appear to be subject to its whims. Pollen floats through the air and irritates our sinuses. We step back in a hole and twist our ankle. In countless ways, all through the day, all through our lives, seemingly external events and circumstances toss us one way and then another. It seems we can only do our best to ride the waves and stay upright with hopes of getting through the storm for a bit of rest and quiet time while preparing to defend against the next storm, which will surely come. All this is the effect of making our decision unconscious. It was a simple decision that led to what seems to be an all-encompassing dream of hell. It was the decision to reject God's gift of all his love, wanting more than everything. Today's lesson tells us that we must learn to recognize our unconscious decision, all of which stem from that one core decision. We cannot choose for heaven when we are confused about what heaven is. That confusion comes from the unconscious beliefs about what we want to be real. If we want specialness more than we want God's love, then we deny ourselves heaven. I am grateful for the course, which is gently and consistently helping me bring to conscious awareness my decision against heaven. I'm especially grateful that the lesson tells me that these are simply foolish, trivial choices. They are not cause for regret or guilt. They need only be laid aside, recognized for what they are. They no longer attract me, and the inevitable attraction of heaven, my home, will draw me back to where I belong. There is no effort to returning home. It is the more natural place for me to be. But because of long established habits of choosing illusion, it does require diligence to practice hour by hour, day by day, reminding myself that heaven is the decision I must make. I use Sunday as a practice in resisting the urge to play dumb. My car started giving me trouble. It started smelling like something was burning, and there was even a small amount of smoke. My first reaction was panic. I had just spent all of my money paying bills, and they were at the post office, too late to take them back in case this turned out to be an expensive problem. I had to go out of town starting Monday afternoon and go to a different town every day this week. I'm teaching classes, and there is no one to take my place if I can't go. So at first I was upset. I decided to use these circumstances to practice deciding for heaven. Every time I would find myself thinking of possibilities having to do with my car, I would say, I choose not to make plans against uncertainties. I had to do it a number of times, but I didn't give in to fear and anxiety. And so I think I used my time well. I wasn't nearly as upset as I might have been if I had just sat around worrying about my car, and I felt good about having the idea I wasn't using the circumstances to bring myself closer to heaven. Today, I brought it in, and the dealership said there didn't seem to be anything wrong with it, and probably I just picked up a plastic bag, which was burning on my exhaust pipe. I wish I had not wasted a moment of my life planning against that uncertainty, but at least I did give each moment of worry or panic to the Holy Spirit, and so it wasn't completely wasted time. Because God used it all for good. Thank you, everybody. I will see you next week. I love you all so much.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank
Have
you,
a good
everyone.
week.
Thank you,
Thank
Linda.
you.
Love you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Blessings.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone. Thank you, Linda.